Hey guys, welcome to patch 8.21 notes breakdown. It's probably going to be like or have the feeling of being redundant this patch, because after all we're getting closer and closer to the preseason for for season 9. So I don't know what they're really gonna do, but yeah. Uh, See, I understand Alistar being nerfed. Obviously, Alistar having his health decreased. I understand that because he is too tanky. But with that being said, you're not exactly seeing competitive play on these patches. That's mainly like national leagues. So I think it's okay to nerf him, but it just feels weird that it's coming out now. It should have been prior to Worlds, I feel like, if it had to come out as a nerf. Ash. Passive slow increased. E pings enemy champions its bots. Yeah, I like the passive being buffed. I didn't feel like it needed to be buffed. I felt like Ash was in a super good place. The only thing that really kept her from popping up more was her lack of mobility. But I do like Ash. I do like the fact that she is now being played more, or has the possibility to being played more with this buff. I don't think this is a big change in general. I like this. I think that's just like a change that'll help more noobs actually provide necessary vision for the team, and actually when then ping people out, your team usually will check whatever you're pinging. Aurelian Soul, health decreased, health regen increased. I didn't feel like I never got really the feeling of his health being too high. It's more streamlined now, definitely, with it going from 562 to 510. But I didn't feel like it was something he needed. Though this does make him more susceptible to getting killed when roaming around in the early game, which definitely should be his case, because he's more of a mid game to late game ability power carry. He's not early game, so I do like the changes, but I think it might be a little bit too much, considering that it's like 52 health you're taking away from him. Draven Q bug fixing. Ezreal W damage increased late. Yeah, it's just 20 in the end, so 5, 10, 25, and then 20. Wait, no one. 15, sorry, and then 20. I didn't feel like I haven't seen a lot of Ezreal, and I must say that obviously with his Essence Flux only working on towers and on champions, it obviously should pack a punch, as they are writing that they want to. But I never really got the feeling that it needed more of a buff. I feel like the numbers over here make a lot of sense. But yeah, like, I like Ezreal, I like his new kit, and I think this is a fine change just to try it out. Not that I think he needed that extra buffing, but nonetheless, it's not like it's gonna kill him. Yeah, this is wrong. Irelia movement speed reduced. I think, among other things, the movement speed definitely should be nerfed and reduced. But I think she needs way more in order to really tone it down. Like her ult is too strong. Her cooldown refreshments are too strong. She has too much damage. Oh, sorry, cooldown refreshments. Her so cooldown refreshments. Her ult, her mobility, her resets, everything is just too strong about this champion. And then you nerf the goddamn movement speed. Like, she's super strong before she gets to 24s. She's even stronger after she gets the Trinity Force. This is not how you fix Irelia. This is a do-over, right? This is, yeah, wrong. Iron. Movement speed increased, E shield increased, W on hit increased early. So, starting with the movement speed. So obviously Iron in general has been buffed here. More movement speed means he's going to get through the jungle faster. Bushmaker means he'll deal more damage. And more shielding as well. So all in all, he's going to be a stronger champion throughout the game and stronger in early game. I do like these changes. I feel like Iron definitely didn't have a place in the current meta. I don't think this will push him back because the meta is so much about just hard engaging and fighting all the time. And that's not where Iron fits in. He's more about having a controlled game, being able to fit the pace of the game into his playstyle by controlling jungle camps, by setting up vision, by playing around his team. So he's good if you come out of the mid game. So if you come out of the laning phase, then he's good. He can be good to support your team if they can snowball on their own, right? But you want to have someone to affect those side lanes, and that's not Iron. Will it make him stronger? Yes. Will it help him get back into the game right here in this meta? No, I don't think so. Kai'Sa. Passive proc scaling decreased, ultimate shield duration decreased. I think the passive proc scaling is definitely smart because she felt too strong in that sense that she could take too much damage away from her target's missing health. And it is not going to shred AP Kai'Sa at all. I think this is going to be hitting AP Kai'Sa more than this, because a big thing about Kai'Sa is that she doesn't have a high auto attack range, and in order for her to proc her passive a lot, she needs to jump in and get into the meat of people. She can do that with a Killer Instinct. She gets the shield. Now it has been lowered, so she's going to be more vulnerable once she jumps in. And with her shield, shield is still super good because it still scales of AD and AP, but it just doesn't last for as long anymore, and that means that she is going to be more open to going down much faster. Karma, W root duration increased. Oh, by the way, I do like these changes. I think they're good. I think they're definitely good, and will definitely put her down just a notch, but still make her good for the late game. Karma, W root duration increased early. Yeah, I think it's fine. Not that I feel like she needed it, but like a little bit of buffing here and there doesn't hurt her at all. Her poke is already good, so that's fine. Now focus resolve does mean that she can be a bit more of an early game playmaker. So I like these changes. Canvas, W cooldown and cost decreased, R cost decreased. I like this one more because I feel like that's his main core item, right? Oh, sorry, core ability. So that makes more sense for him to have that cooldown and cost reduced, especially since he is so mana hungry. So I like those changes. Wall of Pain makes sense to also take down the cost there. Not going to push him up at all because you're still thinking about having assassins and early game APCs in the mid lane, and that's not Kafis, but it's definitely going to give him more of an easier time in the game when he's actually allowed to be played. Bug fixing, Q damage increased at sack. So what I feel like, what I'm feeling off this patch is that they're buffing a lot of these late game junglers and ADCs, and in some extent also some mid laners. And Zac has the same feeling as Ivern, like they're trying to give him enough buff so that he can get back into the game. And I feel like Zac could be good in the meta, but if you're not playing super aggressive, with Zac, then you're not going to get that impact that you want in the early game. And for Zac to get that impact in the early game, he has to play overly aggressive, and that forces him into a high risk, medium to low reward playstyle. And no matter how much you buff his Q, you're not going to help him out of that playstyle. I like the changes. I think it will help him early on, but I don't think it's going to be a big game changer. So Q damage increased late, E cooldown decreased late. Yeah, she was pretty much a Goddard when they made the nerfs back a while ago, where they took away her damage. So I think that it makes sense to buff her skill shots, because I think they took away the damage from her skill shots, if I remember correctly. And I think this is fine. This is a good change. I feel like this will help her a little bit back. I feel like this is the biggest change, because she is so reliant on hitting that sleepy trouble bubble in order to set up the rest of her skill shots. And now having less of a cooldown on that does mean that she'll have an easier time landing all the skill shots, and thus again becoming that laning phase mid horror that everyone knows her as. Camouflage. Turrets no longer blocks line of sight for camouflage abilities, meaning if a camoed enemy champ is on the other side of the turret from you, you'll now be able to see them if they're in range. Okay. Sure. Edge of Night. Cost less, veil challenge time decreased. I haven't seen Edge of Night for ages, so I can't really say whether or not it needed to be changed. I think what they're doing essentially is just making it feel better to buy. Like, obviously you're nerfing the challenge time of the veil, which means that it'll feel easier and better to use that. It won't take as long to charge up, while also making it a cheaper item. So it's more cost efficient, I guess, now, and it'll feel better to buy that item when you have to shrink in or put in 3,000 gold to buy it. Same goes for Essence Reaver. I still feel like Essence Reaver is a good item. It has been a good rework, not at all, but it's a fun item nonetheless. And if you can lower the cost by 200, just make it feel better to buy, well, then people will actually want to buy that item, which is now what they're doing. They're not exactly buffing the users of that Essence Reaver. The Kai'Sa, Sivir, Lucian, Vayne, they're probably not going to buy it still, because it feels bad to buy. So it's still like the Renekton, the Nasus. You're really going to see them buy that item if they'll really want to buy it. But it feels better to buy Essence Reaver and Edge of Night, because they cost less and thus are more cost efficient. Yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Remember to find me on the social medias, and have a nice